Mm. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't realize we were recording. I just decided to drink some water uh, out of this glass, this bottle that actually measures how much water is in there. Ah, measuring water. It's funny that I'm doing that at this moment because we're talking about measuring capacity. Capacity is the amount of, well, actually, it's the amount that an object can hold. So it's very similar to volume. A volume is the amount of space an object takes up. Well, if something takes up that amount of space, that means it can hold that amount of space. So there is a very simple correlation between those two things. However, they are two different measurements. And in mathematics, especially with the US customary system, and actually with the metric system, which you'll talk about at another time, we can make those connections, but we use different units to talk about them. So, hi. Today we're going to talk about capacity in customary units. So many of you will have already used these tons of times when cooking things, or you've been told since you were young that you're supposed to drink 8 to 10 cups of water a day. So if you're having trouble doing that, get you a larger cup or a larger bottle that actually helps you measure it. It's a good way to do that. But it's always going to be in customary units. Because we're in the United States and when we're doing following recipes and things, we're going to do things that way. So how do these units work? Well, as I told you, at most customary, we have things based off of factors of 12. With the capacity, it's the same thing. It's still a customary unit. Things are based off of 2s, 4s, and 8s. And there is still a 3 in there. It's at a much smaller level than which we'll talk about. If you want to look at tablespoons and teaspoons, you can. Now, you will notice that when converting these and doing any conversions with customary systems, I still use the same method of dimensional analysis. Why? Because it's easy to see. It's easy to see how things are changing, how units go away, and how units appear, and why they appear, and why they go away. And so I'm going to continue to use that, and I encourage you to do so as well. If you have issues with it, you can always use the methods that we talked about with proportions, and that will be fine as well. If you need any other methods, please feel free to email me, and I'll be glad to come up with something. Or if you find something that you feel is even better, hey, shoot me an email or shoot me a comment or a message, and we can talk about it. All right, so with capacity, though, we have 8 ounces equaling 1 cup, 2 cups equals 1 pint, 2 pints equals 1 quart, and 4 quarts equaling 1 gallon. Now, these are kind of cool. So some interesting facts about them. If you were to take 1 pint, because 8 ounces equals 1 cup and 2 cups equals 1 pint, if you double the amount of ounces in a cup, you will get 2 cups, and it will be 16 ounces. All right? 8 ounces, if you double that, that will be 16 ounces, which will be 2 cups, which will equal 1 pint. Well, 16 ounces equals 1 pint. A lot of people will say that this is because a pint should hold 16 ounces of something, which would be a pound, and we'll talk about that when we get to weight. So a lot of times it's called a liquid pound. It's just an old saying. Some people use it still. I've actually done an experiment where I measured this out with a lot of students, where we take 16 ounces of water and we pour it into something that's on a scale that's been balanced, and we actually, every time I've done it, I've gotten the same amount. I've gotten 15.75 ounces. 15.75 ounces. So it's got 7 days off. But hey, for a reason, that's just what they've gone with. It's pretty close though, so I can see why. But it's kind of funny that every scale I've used, different scales, different tools, I've gotten 15.75. But regardless of that fact, that's an easy way for a lot of people to remember a pint and its conversion factors, because they can easily remember that 16 ounces when we're talking about weight is going to be equal to 1 pound. And pint starts with a P as well. It sounds like pound. You may see the connection there. All right. Quarts. Quarts comes from the word for quarter, which has to do with 4. So 4 parts to make 1 whole. So a quarter is. Well, 4 quarts makes 1 gallon. And that's why these are called quarts. Well, when they split that up, they were able to see that that is also equal to 2 pints. And so they get this correlation that's going along with these by doubling, as you can see. And then here they get to quarters. So these are pretty simple to remember. So let's look at a conversion between them. A common one that's asked a lot. I hear people ask me all the time, how many ounces are in 1 gallon? Well, let's find out. Let's start off with 1 gallon here. Now, we want to get to ounces in the end. But I know how to get from gallons to quarts. In fact, some of you may have said, why don't we just start by writing 4 quarts? Just so that you can see how it happens. It's just practice. But you can start with 4 quarts if you want. It actually will save you room. But we're going to put it on here. So we know that we'd have gallons down here at the bottom. We'd have quarts up here. Remember, we're trying to map down to ounces. Okay, so now we have quarts. Well, what will we do next? Well, we go from quarts to pints. So we would have quarts down here. We'd have pints up here. And there is an abbreviation for pints. It's PT. I just wanted to write it out just because I'm so used to writing it out. All right, so now we're almost there. We're almost done mapping. So we're going to get rid of pints. And what are we going to do next? We're going to change that to cups. There's also an abbreviation for cups. I've seen 2 things actually written down a lot. I told you all C, but I've also seen CU a lot online, so just be careful about that. What's the difference around CUP? Not much, except it's funnier. So last but not least, and we're running out of room up here, honestly, well, we would have our cups and our ounces. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to backtrack just to make this be a lot more room up here for you, so you can see how everything comes together. So we have our gallons, our quarts, got our quarts, got our pints, we got our pints, and we have our cups, and then we have our cups, and we have our ounces. All right. And a lot of times for these ounces, we'll put FL in front. That means fluid ounces. That's to differentiate from ounces that are used in weight, to let you know that you're using a fluid. All right, so let's see what happens here. So we know that 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So we're just writing our conversion factors. That's how we usually do this. We also know that we have 2 pints is 1 quart. We know that 1 pint is 2 cups. And 8 ounces is going to equal 1 cup. So if we were to do this dimensional analysis, our gallons will go away, our quarts will go away, our pints will go away, our cups will go away, and we'd be left with ounces. So 1 gallon is going to equal how many ounces? That's what we're looking for. Well, we get 1 times 4 times 2 times 2 times 8 divided by 1, divided by 1, divided by 1, divided by 1. So that last part won't even matter. But 1 times 4 would be 4. 4 times 2 would be 8. 8 times 2 would be 16. And then 16 times 8, 128. There are 128 fluid ounces in 1 gallon. So if you're trying to count how many ounces you're drinking to see if you can reach that full gallon, you just need to get 128 of them. And a lot of times they suggest that within an hour, you drink at least 4 ounces. Kind of hard to see from my bottle, but they suggest you drink 4 ounces. If you do that, you'll get to half a gallon in a day. So if you double that, so within each hour, you would drink 8 ounces. That's not that bad. It's really easy, actually. It's 2 ounces, which is a normal, quick sip or gulp of it in every 15 minutes. So just think about that. You just take a cup. Hours gone by, you just drink the whole cup. 1 whole cup, you're done. Nice, huh? All right. So that is how you measure capacity. You also learn a little bit about some healthy things about drinking water. You should go for a gallon a day. All right. I'll see you soon.